Imagine stepping into a place that, well, it feels like a living fairy tale, right? But it also buzzes with this energy of a really modern business.
Yeah, a place with charm, heaps of history, but also surprising innovation.
Exactly. Where tradition isn't just, kept under glass, it's alive, it's being reinvented.
Mm.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into Tivoli AS, that legendary amusement park, cultural hub right in the heart of Copenhagen, Denmark.
And our guide for this dive, it's Tivoli's 2024 annual report summary.
Right.
And it's surprisingly revealing, actually. It shows how this, what is it, 181-year-old Danish gem isn't just ticking over, it's actually setting new records.
181 years, wow.
Yeah. So we'll pull out the key lessons, how they managed to stay so successful.
Okay, let's unpack this then. There's been a lot of buzz about Tivoli's 2024 performance, especially considering its age. What were maybe the most surprising financial takeaways for you? What did they tell us?
Well, what's immediately fascinating is just the scale of their success. I mean, right off the bat, record profits in 2024.
Record profits. Okay.
Yeah. And look at the visitor numbers.
Mm-hmm.
An impressive 4.25 million visitors. That's up 5% compared to 2023.
5% more people coming through the gates.
Exactly. And it's not just locals. Over 1.4 million of those were international tourists.
Really? Where from, mainly?
They saw a notable surge from the USA, the UK, Germany. Also a rise from Sweden, interestingly.
Ah.
Though the report does note that Swedish and Norwegian visitor numbers, they haven't quite bounced back to, say, 2022 or pre-pandemic levels.
Any reason why?
Seems mostly down to the weakened exchange rates for their currencies. But still, that overall international growth, it's a pretty significant story.
That is an impressive turnout. But, a park this old must have huge operational costs. How did that visitor growth actually translate financially? Did the profits match the footfall?
That's the crucial question, right? And the numbers are, well, compelling. Revenue grew by a significant 9% to DKK 1.32 billion.
Okay, 1.32 billion Danish kroner
Up from about 1.21 billion in 2023. So a solid jump.
and the core performance.
Yeah, look at the EBITDA. That's earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization.
Right.
Kind of shows their operational strength.
Right?
It reached DKK 271.2 million. That's a 19% increase from 2023. And get this, it's Tivoli's best result ever.
19% increase on EBITDA. Wow.
And it continues. Profit before tax hit DKK 155.4 million. That's a 40% increase from 2023. Also, their highest ever recorded.
A 40% jump in pre-tax profit. That's huge.
It is, and all underpinned by strong cash flow from operations, too. DKK 214.8 million.
It's pretty remarkable, isn't it, that they improved profitability so much despite, all the talk about pressure on wages, rising costs everywhere.
Absolutely.
They actually hit a higher profit margin than their previous record year back in 2018. Does the report dig into how sustainable that is? Were there specific trade-offs?
Yeah, it does touch on that. It wasn't just one thing, but really a potent mix. They talk about targeted initiatives boosting visitor interest, sure, but also a really sharp focus on business profitability.
Yep.
And you have to remember, 2024 was year 2 of their big 3-year strategy. The one called Cultivate the Gardens, Strengthened Core, Sustainable Business.
Ah, yes, the post-COVID recovery plan.
Exactly. Launched specifically to claw back those pandemic losses. And, well, 2024 clearly shows it's working. They also mentioned the impact of a dynamic pricing model for their core products.
Dynamic pricing, so adjusting prices based on demand.
Yeah, adapting to market trends, optimizing flow. Seems they really fine-tuned it. They didn't just slap on higher prices. They managed capacity smartly. Reduced queues, boosted spending per visitor, but crucially, without wrecking the guest experience.
That takes some finesse.
It really does. It points to a deep understanding of their customers and operations. You don't always see that level of efficiency in, heritage attractions.
Right. So that strategic comeback, it must have involved some pretty bold moves, some big investments. How do you keep a place that's nearly 2 centuries old feeling fresh without, paving over its history?
Well, here's where it gets really interesting on the investment front. They actually started the largest investment in a single amusement area in Tivoli's entire history.
The largest ever. What are they building?
A brand new area, 2,000 square meters, new theme, lively street layout, 2 new rides, plus these atmospheric covered eateries. It sounds like a major addition.
When's that due?
Expected to open in 2026. So that's a huge forward-looking project.
Definitely.
But it's not just about the new stuff. The report really highlights the extensive, ongoing maintenance needed for a 181-year-old garden.
I bet. Constant upkeep.
Continuous renovation. Facilities, buildings, rides. They mentioned specifics, like the new peacock curtain and forecourt at the Pantomime Theater.
Ah, the famous theater.
Yeah, and they're also refurbishing the Glass Hall Theater restaurant. That's opening next year, 2025.
So preserving the icons too?
Absolutely. And alongside all that physical work, there's the digital side, ongoing digitalization, a new website launched for, better overview, easier shopping, and they're working on a new ticketing system too.
It really sounds like a balancing act. Preserving the past, building the future.
That's the core of it, I think.
That combination of old and new, it really makes you think about what makes Tivoli, doesn't it? The unique blend of classic charm and modern buzz. It's more than just rides. It's like a whole cultural experience. How do they keep that cultural heart beating so strongly?
It truly is a symphony, like you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
And 2024 was packed with these landmark moments, anniversaries, celebrations.
Right. I saw something about the Pantomime Theater.
Exactly. It celebrated its 150th anniversary. Huge milestone. And they unveiled a new peacock curtain designed by H.M. Queen Margrethe herself.
Wow. Royal involvement, too.
Yeah. And the Tivoli Youth Guard, another beloved institution, they celebrated 180 years with big festive concerts.
180 years.
And one of their most iconic rides, the classic wooden roller coaster.
Of course. Rutsjebanen.
That turned 110. It's one of the world's oldest wooden roller coasters still operating. Quite something. And they have, 25 moving rides in total now?
Yep. So heritage is clearly massive. But it's not just about nostalgia, is it? What about the wider cultural stuff, the events that pull in everyone from, I don't know, ballet fans to take that fans?
They have an incredibly broad program. The classical side saw spectacular performances. Think New York City Ballet, the Hamburg
Yeah.
Ballet, world class.
Top tier.
And concerts by huge international stars. And Sophie Mutter, Yuzhou Wang, Angel Blue performed.
Impressive lineup.
Then beyond the high arts, you've got these really popular traditions, the Tivoli Garden and Flower Festival, the Tivoli Food Festival. People love those.
Brings a different crowd.
Totally.
Yeah.
They even had international star chefs doing pop-ups in the Japanese pagoda.
Yeah.
And the Nim Hotel, their luxury hotel on site,
Hmm.
that continued to do really well. High occupancy.
So food, flowers, festivals, what else?
Special events galore. Remember the fireworks for the Danish royal succession? That was Tivoli.
Ah, yes.
They dressed the whole park in red and white when the Danish men's football team went to Euro 2024. Friday, rock concerts. Take That played, big draw.
Take that in Tivoli. Okay.
Copenhagen Art Festival had exhibitions there. Halloween is huge for them. Now they even had a record-breaking pumpkin, weighed over a ton apparently.
A 1-ton pumpkin.
You heard right. And of course, Christmas in Tivoli. Their Christmas market was named one of the world's best by CNN. It's more than just a market, it's a whole Christmas world. Key part of their year-round appeal.
It really does sound like an incredible range, almost like they managed to be all things to all people somehow. Ballet, roller coasters, giant pumpkins.
It's a unique mix.
But let's shift focus a bit. Beyond the fun and games, what about Tivoli's wider impact? The report brings in sustainability for the first time as an integrated part. What does that signal?
Yeah, that's a really important point. It raises the question of corporate responsibility for an institution like this. And yes, 2024 was the first time sustainability was woven right into the annual report, not just an add-on. That itself is significant.
So what are their goals?
They've set climate targets, aiming for net zero for Scope 1 and 2 emissions. That's their direct operations and energy use by 2025.
It's soon.
Very soon. And a 25% reduction in Scope 3 emissions, which is the broader value chain stuff, by 2030. And importantly, these aren't just plucked out of the air. They were approved by the Science Based Targets Initiative, the SBTI.
SBTI approved. So that
Yeah.
means they're properly aligned with climate science, right? It's a rigorous standard.
Exactly. It's not just greenwashing. It's a scientifically validated endorsement. It gives their targets real credibility.
So concrete goals, scientific backing, what are they actually doing on the ground to hit those targets?
A whole range of things. Transition to green energy. They have signed a 5-year power purchase agreement for renewables, using electric vehicles within the park.
Makes sense.
Tackling food waste, which must be a big one for them with all the eateries. And lots of energy renovations, new ventilation systems, better building insulation, switching everything to LED lighting, practical stuff.
And they've got certifications too.
Yep, Tivoli itself is certified as a green attraction. And the Nim Hotel has the Green Key certification. So external validation there too.
Okay, so environment's covered. What about the people side? The report mentions employees.
Oh, absolutely. They really emphasize that their employees are, the heart of their success, which sounds like PR, but they back it up.
How so?
High employee satisfaction scores are mentioned, high retention rates, especially among seasonal staff, which can be tricky, and, quite notably, a 30% reduction in days off work due to workplace accidents in 2024.
30% reduction. That suggests a real focus on safety and well-being.
It does. It points to a strong internal culture.
And are they looking at broader social issues like diversity, community stuff?
Yes, definitely. On diversity, Tivoli joined the Confederation of Danish Industries Diversity Pledge. They're aiming for a 40-60 gender split across the board by 2030.
40-60 either way.
Yeah, and they saw some positive movement in 2024. The percentage of women in management roles went up from 30% to 32%, so progress there.
Okay.
And on the wider social responsibility front, they have these long-term philanthropic partnerships,
Yeah.
mostly focused on children with fewer opportunities.
Like what kind of initiatives?
Things like exchanging hospital wristbands for Tivoli entry wristbands for kids who are hospitalized. A lovely touch. And they support several charities like Families with Children Affected by Cancer, Smilfonden, Burnen Telefonen, the Child Helpline, and Joanna Huset.
So it shows a commitment beyond just the part gate.
I think so. It feels quite embedded.
Okay, so looking ahead then, they've had this record year, they've got huge investments underway, ambitious sustainability goals. How do they plan to keep this momentum going? What's the outlook for, say, 2025, and what challenges are they worried about?
Well, for 2025, they're actually expecting slightly lower visitor numbers.
Yeah, oh, really? After a record year. Why is that?
It seems it's mainly due to having fewer opening days planned and a shorter summer season compared to 2024. Plus, there's still some uncertainty in nearby markets like Sweden and Norway, even though trends looked better towards the end of 24.
Fewer days, shorter season. Makes sense, it might dip slightly. What about the financials?
They're forecasting revenue around DKK 1,300 million and profit before tax of about DKK 130 million.
So down from the 2024 records, but still pretty healthy compared to previous years.
Exactly. Still significantly higher than most prior years. And those strategic investments, they're continuing full steam ahead. Especially that big remodeling of the old Asia area, the new rides, the new eateries, that's a major focus.
And bringing in new people.
Yeah, they also plan to strengthen the organization by bringing in new talent, investing in their team.
Okay. And the risks. You mentioned weather earlier, which must be huge for an outdoor place. What else keeps them up at night?
Absolutely. Weather sensitivity is always there. Heavy rain, heat waves, it all impacts footfall directly. The report mentions their strengthened risk management process, which covers a lot.
Like what?
Operating costs are a big uncertainty, especially wage levels, thinking about collective bargaining agreements. Then there's visitor safety, obviously paramount. Visitor demand, which is tied to the wider economic climate.
Makes sense.
Also the working environment, employee well-being, staff turnover, brand and reputation, always a risk if there's negative media. Operational stability, things like IT systems failing, or worse, cyber attacks.
Cyber attacks are a risk everywhere now.
For sure. Also changes in regulations from authorities. And then, yeah, climate change itself, the risk of more extreme weather events like those intense cloud bursts or flooding.
That's quite a list. How are they tackling those, particularly the weather and climate ones?
Well, what's interesting is they specifically mention designing the new renovations, like that big area project, to be more resilient, more independent of extreme weather conditions.
So building in resilience from the start. That's smart.
It shows they're not just reacting, they're actively planning for these future challenges. It's a proactive approach to risk.
So wrapping this all up then, what does it all mean for Tivoli? It really sounds like 2024 was, well, a landmark year. They managed this incredible balancing act, rich heritage, bold innovation, and this clear commitment to people and planet.
Yeah, I think if you connect this to the bigger picture, Tivoli's success is just a really powerful example, isn't it? How let's face it, 181-year-old institution can stay so relevant, so profitable.
By doing what, fundamentally?
By embracing change, not fearing it.
Yeah.
By strategically investing in the experience, not just rides, but the whole atmosphere, the culture. And by making sustainability and their workforce genuine priorities, not just buzzwords.
It's impressive stuff.
It really is. And maybe the final thought for you listening is this. What lessons can other places take from this? Not just old institutions, but modern businesses too. What can they learn from Tivoli's strategy of being, as they say, always like never before? How do you navigate constant change and make sure you endure?